In this video, I calculate your odds of surviving the death saving throws if your character goes to 0 hit points in 5th edition. Let's calculate the odds of surviving a death saving throw. And the way it's described in 5th edition is when you drop to 0 hit points, you have to do a death saving throw. This is described on page 197 of the player's handbook. So let's go through some of the details. You roll a d20, and it doesn't depend upon your attributes. If you have to get failure or success. This little table here shows you the odds. If you roll a 1, you have 2 failures. A 2 through 9, you have 1 failure. A 10 through 19, you have 1 success. And on a 20, you get 1 hit point or life. So this is the basic roll mechanics that you're going to go through with the death saving throws. So we can do a little pivot table here, and we calculate the odds. There's a 5% chance that you'll have life, a 40% chance you'll get 1 failure, a 50% chance you'll have 1 success, and a 5% chance you'll get 2 failures. So what are the odds that you'll actually survive if you come into this? The results are a little bit surprising, but we'll come through and let's walk through how we did this. So here are our basic odds. So on the first die roll, these are your odds of what you will get. On your second die roll, so we can come into the second die roll with either 2 failures, 1 failure, 1 success, or we're alive, we've got 1 hit point, and we don't actually have to roll anymore. So then we look at what happens if I've got 2 failures. I could get another 2 failures, I could get 1 failure, I could get 1 success, or I could get life. And so we just enumerate over all the possibilities. 1 failure, 2 failures, so on. If you get 3 failures, that's death. If you get 3 successes, that's life. So or if you ever get life, you roll a 20, you're alive. And so what happens is that this sort of explains the odds on the second die roll. And we now can create a pivot table of the results of the second die roll. So after 2 die rolls, we have a 4.25% chance of death and a 9.75% chance of life. And then we have these other possibilities: 1 failure, 1 success, 2 failures, 2 failures, 1 success, and 2 successes. So we enumerate over them all. Once I'm dead, and I don't need to roll anymore. If I'm alive, and I don't need to roll anymore. So we come through and enumerate over all the possibilities here, and we come up with these odds here. So now we can do a pivot table of these results. So this gives us, again, our death, our life, 1 failure, 2 successes, 2 failures, 1 success, 2 failures, 2 successes. So this is what works out here. This is, again, if we're dead, we're dead. If we've got a hit point, we're alive, and we come down and work through the stats here. So we see what happens. Notice that there was something interesting happen between die roll 2, where death had a higher, death was much lower than life, but by we get to the third roll, death is much higher than life. So then we get to the roll 4. And if we get to roll 4, the fourth roll, we now work it out. So if you're dead, you're dead. If you're alive, you're alive. And the only other option is if we come in with 2 failures, 2 successes, if we get 2 more failures, we die, or we are alive. So what's the final result? Guess what? The odds of dying are a little bit higher, 0.25% about higher that you'll die than you'll survive. So what caused this interesting discussion? Well, I'll give you the situation I was gaming the other night, and it was two swarms of insects attacked a player character named Amy. There were two attacks, and each attack delivered 10 points of damage. Amy had a maximum of 15 hit points. In the first attack, she was also hit for 10 hit points, putting Amy at 5 hit points. So she receives 2 hits, the first for 10 points and the second for 10 points. The first would put Amy at 0 hit points. She actually goes to -5, but the way it works is you go to 0. The paragraph titled "Damage at 0 hit points" on page 197 of the player's handbook covers the second hit. This is equivalent to a death saving throw failure. So we had actually several more rounds of combat before anybody could actually get to her. So what were the odds that the character Amy would survive? We can just do this by cheating, and instead of the normal D1 rolls, we cheat. We automatically specify that she got hit a second time. She got hit, so that's equivalent to 1 failure. That's why it's 100% here, and we put the others down at 0. So this is the equivalent of failing her first die roll is being hit by the monsters when she was at 0 hit points. So then what happens is we work through her second rolls, and we see what happens here, and we do go through, copy the pivot tables and so on, and just work through them and work through the stuff. And we work through again through the 4th and 5th die rolls, and we finally get to the final result. And it's not very good for Amy. She's got a 63.25% chance that she'll die. She's got a 36% chance she will survive after taking 1 hit from the creatures when she was at 0 hit points. So it gives you an idea of how the mechanics work for these death saving throws. I was actually surprised that, because it sounds like when you first read them that if you roll a 20, you're alive. You get 1 hit point, and if you roll a 1, you only take 2. But that actually is sort of a nasty, it's actually nastier than dying outright, I believe. I'd have to work through that, but I may, if I have some more time, work through what would happen if you made just the simple change in the odds of that if you rolled a 1, you just died rather than taking 2. It's subtle. It really is a subtle die roll effect there. But that I'll put the spreadsheet up and put that in the link in the description down there. Hope you enjoyed this. This was actually some interesting calculations going through and seeing what happens when you have to roll and work through this. And I was trying to figure out how to, it took me a while to think of an easy way to show this, because you could end up rolling 5 20-sided dice, which just the combinatorics just got a little bit large, so working out. But this was actually fun to do for me. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like my video, press the thumbs up button. I'd appreciate that. Or if this interests you, you can always subscribe to my channel. There's a button right above. I look forward to hearing some comments. Tell me what you think about this, and I'll try and reply, and we can see if I'll do some more of these. Thank you.